So how many drafts did you go through for Unravel Me before you got to the final product?
Unravel Me?
Yes.
Well, I wrote the first draft, and then I got my editorial letter. So then I wrote another draft, and then I got my line edits, and then I edited it one more time, and that was it.
So how different is it from the very first draft?
The bones are basically the same. The structure is essentially the same. I just really needed to flesh it out. When I write first drafts, they're pretty bare. It's just like the skeleton, and then I need to go back in and like flesh things out.
So in the planning stages, what music were you listening to?
When I wrote Unravel Me?
Yes.
Man, a lot of different kind of music. I listened a lot to the Airborne Toxic event. There's this one particular song called Midnight something. Can't even remember right now. But that was like, I listened to that a lot.
I'm really curious to know if you've listened to Touch Me from Spring Awakening.
No, I haven't.
Because every time I read this book, I always think of that song.
That sounds so dirty.
You have to listen to that song.
I'll look it up. I've never heard it before.
So at the panel, you mentioned how you were worried that people feel more comfortable watching people kill each other rather than love each other. And earlier in the panel, Myra McIntyre had mentioned hope with the price. So would you be willing to have hope with the price?
I think hope always comes with a price.
Yeah.
I think in general, that's just kind of the way life is. So I think that's actually an accurate reflection of reality. But I think I was speaking more to the idea of senseless violence becoming something that's really entertaining.
Okay.
I have a problem with that, where I think if it's violence for the sake of like something greater, and not that that's even, I'm not even justifying that, but I mean like when a story is told and there's like violence in the story, where like in the Hunger Games, for example, Katniss is fighting for something so much more. She doesn't want to be violent. She doesn't want to kill people. She didn't even want to be in the Hunger Games. But she steps forward to save her sister because she knows that otherwise her sister's going to die immediately. And she's sacrificing herself for something greater, for, you know, another life. And that's kind of like the impetus for everything else that happens in the novel and in the trilogy. Whereas in other books, and I'm not referring to anything in particular, nothing specifically, but I've seen it a lot, where violence is just sort of thrown in there as like a character trait almost, where it's like, I'm going to show that this person is an extremely strong person because they know how to like kill someone with no remorse. And I think that's kind of dangerous because, you know, if you're going to kill someone, if you need to, obviously I feel like there should be more thought and compassion put into it. It just scares me sometimes.
Yeah. Now, if you lost the sense of touch, what was the other sense that you would want to be heightened?
If I lost my sense of touch?
Yes.
That's hard. I'd probably want to die. If I couldn't feel anything or like touch anything, that would be really, really hard. Maybe my sense of just like hearing? I don't know. That's a pretty tough question.
And how has your experience been at the con?
Great. It's amazing. It's so enormous and a little overwhelming, but it's great. This is my second time at the San Diego Comic Con, and I went to the New York Comic Con last year as well. So yeah, and I was at WonderCon earlier this year. So everything is a little bit, you know, WonderCon and then the New York Comic Con are really small, but these Comic Cons are huge. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.